Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the one and only Kharlie Brown. And today, we're going to go around the town and we're going to talk about the movie The Suicide Squad. Now, to me, this is a sequel. To a lot of people, it's not. They're kind of rebooting it. But there are characters from the first one that they brought back over into this one. The relationships that were established in the first one that they brought back over into this one. There were connections that were established in the first one they brought back over into this one. There were key elements from the first movie that they brought over into this one. So to me personally, this is a sequel. However, let's just jump into it. Now, when the first one came out, I liked it. There's a lot of people that had strong feelings about the first one, and we'll just leave it at that. I know a lot of people, a lot of critics and stuff that pretty much destroyed it. A lot of YouTube critics that just destroyed that movie. A lot of like movie critics that just said, nah, they didn't like it, they hated it. There were certain things about the first movie. Before we continue, let me please ask you guys to please like, subscribe, and share this video. You guys will be doing me a big favor. So please like, subscribe, and share this vehicle. Okay, so in the first movie, you had Will Smith playing the character Deadshot. Now, if you take that connection from this movie, you have Idris Elba. I hope I'm pronouncing his name correctly, which he's one of my favorite actors. But Idris Elba playing Killshot. Bloodsport. His character name is Bloodsport. I don't know why I said Killshot. I apologize. I'm sorry. And now I'll return you to your regularly scheduled video of me. But his name is Bloodsport, not Killshot. Which, to me, they're pretty much the exact same character. With that being said, like, for example, they're both black. They were both hired guns. They both were marksmen. They both had cool, nifty suits. They both ended up having some type of connection or relationship, whatever, being friends with Harley Quinn as well as Rick Flag. They both had daughters. They both were doing what they were doing for their daughters. So that it's you know, so it's like, well, we couldn't get one black guy to do this movie. Let's get another black guy to do this movie. Anyway, to me personally, Idris Elba was so good in this movie. He carried a lot of the movie on his back. But if you ask me, oh, and by the way, here we go again. I gotta do another stoppage. Please, they might be spoilers. I might spoil something in this movie, but it's on HBO Max. You guys can go and check it out right now if you have HBO Max. And it's at the movie theater if you want to go to the theater to see it. If you haven't had a chance to, we'll stop right here for those that have had a chance to watch it yet. So we'll wait. Good. Now, if you enjoyed it or not, we about to ride along with this because there may be spoilers. Anywho, in the movie, in the Suicide Squad movie, the storyline to me was better than the first movie. Now, again, I liked the first movie. I enjoyed the first movie. The movie had its flaws and had its problems, yes, but I liked it. I was along for the ride. I was strapped in. I was, it wasn't like the Millennium Force type of roller coaster ride. It was kind of like, I don't know, like the Iron Dragon or something. But I liked it. I enjoyed it, okay? I think that the first movie, there might be a director's cut out there that we haven't had a chance to see yet. That's kind of like a pattern with DC, where the corporation itself comes down and they kind of hinder the director. However, for the Suicide Squad, they did not hinder anything that James Gunn did. They let James Gunn be James Gunn. Clearly, from the opening sequence, you see that James Gunn was allowed to be James Gunn. If you see movies like Slither or The Guardians of the Galaxy, you know who James Gunn is, and you know that was his touch. And he did a great job directing this. The one main thing that I have to say about the Suicide Squad compared to the Suicide Squad is, in the first one, there were things that they kept taking seriously that should not have been taken seriously. Even in the comic book world, it's like, why are you taking that so seriously? And it seemed more like a hard drama. In this one, it seemed more like how should I put it? Kind of like Deadpool. There was things that should be taken seriously at certain times, and then there were, you kind of built up to that drama, and I like how they did that. And then there were other things where things that you see that are ridiculous, and they played off the ridiculousness of those things. Like, for example, the Weasel character and how people looked at him and stuff like that, the way he walked, the way he looked. And the Weasel character cracked me up while the Weasel character was on screen. The vulnerability of, not the vulnerability, how should I put this? I'll just say it like this. In the first movie, you can clearly see they telegraph which characters were going to be killed. Okay? Now, again, the characters are Suicide Squad. It's a chance that these characters are going to be knocked off. You're not supposed to know who it's going to be, and I think they can play around with those characters, because these characters are villains. They play off of the superheroes. However, while watching the movie, I've noticed that in the first movie, you automatically saw, yeah, this guy's gonna die. And you kind of been like, yeah, I can kind of see this guy dying too, And the second movie, there were characters that were getting popped off, and you were just like, what the heck? It kind of shocked you because when you see the trailer for the movie, they build up all these characters, show you all these characters, and then in the trailer, they show characters in different sequences and stuff. So when you would see them throughout the trailer, you would just kind of, in your mind, think like, oh, well, this character is going to survive. And then when it doesn't, it kind of shocked you, which threw you off your rocker. And you're like, oh, okay. And with that being said, I'm not going to spoil this, but Polka Dot Man, you my heart, baby. You my heart. Also, in this movie, again, going back to the ridiculous of certain characters, like they have in the first movie they had a Killer Croc. It was a humanoid crocodile character just walking about. In this movie, you have Killer Shark, or King Shark, King Shark. And King Shark, Mr. Num Num, was wonderful. I loved every scene that shark was on the screen. I laughed, I enjoyed it, I cried. Every scene that shark was on, wow, bravo. And the voice of the shark was Sylvester Stallone, and it was great. Num Num. It's gonna stay in my head for a while. In the first one, they had the crocodile character, whatever. I other than the line where he says, "I'm beautiful," other than that, I was like, And they threw on that whole line about BET. I'm like, whatever. I didn't really care for that character. However, in the first movie, you also had like breaking down the characters themselves. There were characters in the movie where I was like, whatever. If something happens to him, I really don't care. I wasn't really that invested in the characters. The Will Smith's character, Margot Robbie's character, and Rick Flagg's character were the three characters I was pretty much, on board with. Amanda Waller's character, everybody else I really didn't give a crap about. I didn't care if they died, whatever. They didn't do much build up for those characters for me to even really care what was going to happen to them. Even the villain, the storyline with the villain, I didn't really like that either. I didn't care for the characters. But then in this one, you have like every character that popped up on screen, even the ones that got knocked off. Something about the way the movie was directed, I got involved and I wanted to see where these characters were going to go. Even when they got killed off or died, I was like, oh, that was cool. That was interesting. So I was on board with all the characters immediately the minute they popped up. And that's saying something because, what is his name? The comedian. I can't remember his name. I'll put this picture here. This guy. You see that guy? Yeah. I don't really like him. I don't like him as a comedian. I don't think he's funny and, whatever. But props to him, whatever he does in his life. But however, I enjoyed him in the movie. Also, this guy, I think his name Jai Courtney. I don't like Jai Courtney either. I've never liked him in anything that he's been in, but I liked him as Captain Boomerang. And then what happens in this movie, I'm like, oh, what? Like, but okay, all right. I guess that's what we're doing, James Gunn. Pull a gun out on me. But every character in here, even the reactions of certain characters and how they did certain things, I applaud every actor in this movie. I thought everyone, did a decent job, a great job, however you want to say it. I think they did well. Also, going back and forth between the two movies again, I liked the first movie. That's why I keep referencing the first movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I mean, again, it had its flaws. I liked it though. Also, on top of that, the story. I thought the story for the second one was way better than the first one. The whole beam in the sky thing got overplayed. But when you got to the ending of this one, the way they started tying all this stuff together about secrets and double missions and double bluffs and who was double crossing who, when they started playing to all that, I was like, cool, I like this. Then there's a scene which is similar between the first movie and the second movie. And it's the scene where the characters have to make a choice between, being the villains that they are and just walking away. And making the decision like, well, people are going to die if I just walk away. If I don't at least try, people are going to get hurt. So I got to do something. And then the second movie is pretty much the same thing. Now, here's my thing. The build up to it in the second one made more sense. The build up to it in the first one didn't make a lick of sense at all. Not at all. The fact that they did what they did in the first one, I was kind of just like, all right, I guess. I mean, because we already established that Superman and all the rest of them are in this world. Okay, so but in the first one, it seemed more like a global thing might happen. But we already know that Superman, Batman, Aquaman, and all the rest of them exist. We know they say it in the movie that they exist. We know Wonder Woman, all of them exist in this world because they already mentioned it. In the second one, now even though we already know from the first movie that they exist in this world, however, it was a smaller type situation where this thing was going to attack these people within this town, within the city. So it's like, all right, well, we're going to protect the people in this town within the city. It seemed like a more closed a more closed off situation, but the build up to it made more sense. All in all, I enjoyed both movies, but I gotta grade it. I gotta give it a pass or a fail. You know how the scale goes. You got high pass, low pass, okay, high fail, low fail. And me, I give it a high pass. I thought The Suicide Squad was amazing. It got me from the opening sequence all the way to the ending. The things that should have been ridiculous were ridiculous, and they played off that ridiculousness. They weren't too serious when they shouldn't be, and they were serious where they should be. The drama that built up within the movie made perfect sense. The connection between characters made sense, and it's a movie about villains that are expendable. But I thought that the movie itself was amazing. Even though they had characters that were expendable, I felt for the characters. And me personally, I thought the movie was amazing, so I give it a high pass. A very high pass. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go and watch it again, which is saying something because I am not a huge DC fan. DC can suck my left butt cheek. But I enjoyed it, and I'm going to go check it out again right now. And if you guys watched it, guarantee you're going to want to watch it a second time too. If you can pick up what I'm putting down, Around the Town, Kharlie Brown. Ta-ta.